When I was 16 years old, I landed my first job working at Walmart, 15 minutes away from my parents' house, where I resided at the time. Juggling high school responsibilities, would often clock in after classes or on weekends. Since I didn't own a car, my transportation was reliant on my parents, who graciously drove me to and from work. My aspiration was to accumulate sufficient funds for my Walmart job, gradually working towards the possibility of purchasing a car. A couple of months into my Walmart tenure, I experienced a particular night shift. Commencing at 4 p.m. after concluding my school day, I, a cashier, remained stationed at the check lanes throughout my entire shift, which concluded at 9 p.m. The flow of events followed the usual rhythm. The store wasn't overly bustling, with only a couple of peak hours witnessing a surge in customers. The rest of the time, it retained a serene ambience. Surprisingly, on that night, I was granted an early departure. Around 8:45 p.m., my manager informed me that I could leave due to the prevailing calmness in the store. Leaving the check lanes, I made my way to the employees-only area of our store to clock out. Following that, I sent a quick text to my mom, apprising her of the early finish. She was familiar with the variability in my work hours, sometimes concluding a bit earlier or later than the stipulated time. Swiftly, she replied, confirming her departure to pick me up. Exiting the store, I strolled towards the front, where a few benches overlooked the parking lot on the adjacent sidewalk. The area was adorned with small plants and trees scattered around. Choosing my usual spot, a bench beneath a tree, I settled in and occupied myself with my phone, patiently awaiting my mom's arrival. The parking lot retained a tranquil ambience for the most part. As the night progressed, it grew quieter, with occasional customers either entering the store or departing. The lot accommodated numerous cars, including those of fellow employees and customers alike. During this time, I noticed a specific car, a larger and older-looking SUV, entering the parking lot. It maneuvered around before positioning itself right in front of the entrance doors, a little to my left. Subsequently, it proceeded slowly, passing me and heading to the other side of the doors. I observed as it took a left, navigating back through the parking lot. Initially, I didn't pay much attention, refocusing on my phone. However, a few minutes later, I looked up to find the same car returning, seemingly taking another lap around the parking lot. This time, it moved at a notably slow pace. The car reached one of the parking aisles, then turned, making its way back towards me. The SUV continued its slow journey along the front of the store until it came to a complete stop right in front of me. A sense of unease settled over me, driven by an instinct I couldn't quite pinpoint. This wasn't my mom's car, and confusion mingled with my apprehension. As the SUV halted, the passenger side window, conveniently closer to me, rolled down. It revealed a man in the driver's seat, staring directly at me. Without hesitation, he shouted, offering me a ride home or to wherever I needed to go. Politely, I shook my head and declined his offer. Though I didn't get a clear look at the man, I could make out his dark, long hair beneath a baseball cap. Undeterred, he insisted I join him, waving me over. Reiterating my refusal, I expected him to drive away, but instead, he lingered. For a brief moment, he remained stationary in his vehicle. Suddenly, the driver's door swung open, and the man emerged, briskly walking around the car. Reacting swiftly, I got up from the bench, panic urging me to run. I sprinted towards the entrance of Walmart without looking back, reaching safety within a mere 10 seconds. Only then did I glance behind me, confirming that the man hadn't pursued me into the store. I scanned the area outside but saw no sign of him, concluding that he likely returned to his vehicle. I stayed inside the store, finding a seat on an indoor bench, until my mom texted me that she had arrived. Approximately 5 minutes had passed since I entered Walmart, and she informed me that she was in the parking lot out front. Exiting, I spotted my mom's car and promptly got inside, immediately feeling a sense of relief. I recounted the unsettling encounter to her, and together, we scanned the surroundings. It was then that I noticed the same SUV in the parking lot, now parked in a space with its engine running. Fortunately, we left without any pursuit or further incident. Upon reaching home, I took the initiative to call my boss and report the distressing occurrence. Unsure if the man returned or faced any consequences, I remained vigilant. Thankfully, for the duration of my employment at Walmart, no similar incidents occurred, and I never crossed paths with the man again. I was 15 when this incident occurred. There's a Walmart within walking distance of my house, and I used to frequent it for buying clothes and other essentials before I had a driver's license. Sometimes, I'd go with my friend Alexa, and on other occasions, I'd venture there alone. Although the Walmart is part of the nearby mall, the mall has lost its charm over the years, with most good stores closing down. Being a 15-year-old without much disposable income, Walmart became my go-to choice due to its affordability. One evening, I decided to walk to Walmart, my AirPods securely in place. The journey took around 15 minutes, during which I tuned out the world around me. I believe that people with basic social awareness understand that someone wearing headphones prefers not to be disturbed. I was going about my business in Walmart, navigating the girls' clothing department, when I noticed a man next to me, engaged in conversation. Although I couldn't hear what he was saying, it seemed like he was directing his words towards me. I took out my AirPods and asked, "Are you talking to me?" To my surprise, he affirmed that he was. This shorter man, around 50 with gray hair, glasses, and a clean-shaven face, flashed a smile and apologized, claiming he hadn't noticed my headphones. Whether intentional or not, his admission seemed dubious. He proceeded to share an odd detail, mentioning that his daughter buys the exact same kind of jeans I was wearing. Puzzled by the randomness of this revelation, I chose to respond with kindness, laughing and saying, "Oh, that's funny." Little did I know that this seemingly innocuous exchange was only the beginning of an interaction that would unfold into an unnecessary and unsettling episode. I continued browsing through a rack of tops as the man persistently attempted to engage in conversation. Unfortunately, he misinterpreted my politeness as genuine interest. Curious about my age, he inquired, and I honestly replied that I was 15. His response, however, was unsettling, as he remarked, "Oh, what a great age, so mature but still so young." The conversation took an even more uncomfortable turn when he asked for my name, and against my better judgment, I shared my real name. His reaction was peculiar, exclaiming, "Wow, that's my favorite name for a girl." The intrusive questioning continued as he inquired about the school I attended. Sensing the need to protect my privacy, I decided to fabricate details, claiming, "I'm actually not from around here, I'm just visiting my cousin." Despite my attempt to redirect the conversation, he persisted, asking about my origin. Feeling uneasy, I vaguely stated, "I'm from out of state." His insistence grew stronger as he confidently asserted, "I've seen you around here before, are you sure you're not from around here?" Faced with discomfort, I looked at him, attempting to formulate a response. However, overwhelmed by the situation, I chose a different course of action and abruptly turned around, walking away from him. For the first time ever, I found myself genuinely uncomfortable due to a stranger's intrusive behavior. His claim of having seen me before left me with an unsettling feeling, as if he had been observing or paying attention to me in this Walmart prior to my visit to buy the jeans I held at the front of the store. Determined to distance myself from the encounter, I proceeded to walk through the store, heading towards the mall entrance. It was November or December, and the Christmas decorations had just been put up, adding a festive atmosphere. I hoped to explore the mall further, curious to discover if any new stores had opened since my shopping in Walmart was abruptly cut short, walking through the mall. Nothing particularly caught my eye. I entered Victoria's Secret, and while inside, I noticed the same guy from Walmart through the glass, sitting on a bench in the mall outside of Victoria's Secret. Exiting the store swiftly, I started walking through the mall at a brisk pace. When I turned around, I observed that he was now walking behind me. Panic set in, and I immediately called my mom, urgently asking her for a ride because I was being followed by a man. Taking her advice, I sought refuge in a store bustling with multiple people. The man reached the entrance of the store, and with an eerie tone, he whispered my name, making it clear he didn't want others to hear. Feeling increasingly uneasy, I approached the cashier and stated, "This man is following me, I don't know him." Some customers overheard and glanced over, prompting the man to retreat into the mall. The cashier, likely around 20 years old, sympathized with my situation. A couple even approached, offering to wait with me until my mom arrived. When my mom entered the mall, I left with her, expressing gratitude to the couple who had waited with me. Subsequently, I avoided going to the mall or that Walmart alone. Even going back with friends was something I refrained from for a considerable time. I fervently hoped that the man was apprehended for his creepy behavior and taken off the streets. In a quiet town where stories unfolded like familiar chapters, James, a worn-down father of 2 little girls, found himself grappling with life's unrelenting challenges. Barely making ends meet, he took up the night shift at Walmart to ensure a roof over his daughters' heads and food on their table. His tired eyes mirrored the weariness of a man who'd seen too much struggle. James, an ordinary guy with an ordinary life, held the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. The separation from his wife had left him with no choice but to toil through the night, stacking shelves to make a meager living for Emma and Lily, one chilly night, under the unforgiving fluorescent lights of Walmart. The monotony of stacking cereal boxes turned into a nightmare. The quiet aisles that had witnessed countless mundane moments were about to host a tragedy that would etch itself into the town's memory. The uneasy calm of the night was shattered by the appearance of Mark, a ghost from James's past and his wife's ex-husband. Mark, draped in the shadows, brought with him a storm of resentment and a thirst for revenge. The stage was set for a confrontation that should have never happened, and the dimly lit Walmart aisles became the arena for a showdown that would change everything. "Thought you could replace me, huh?" Mark's voice, dripping with bitterness, echoed through the empty store. James, caught off guard, attempted reason, but the bitterness of the divorce had festered into a dangerous obsession for Mark. The aisles, once filled with mundane goods, transformed into a chilling battleground where the past collided with the present. As the argument escalated, the flickering lights overhead cast eerie shadows on the shelves. Desperation seeped into James's voice as he pleaded for sanity, his thoughts racing back to the 2 little girls waiting for him at home. But Mark, driven by madness, remained deaf to reason. In aisle 13, surrounded by cleaning supplies, a bottle shattered, signaling the beginning of the end. The struggle for life ensued, the sound of violence echoing through the silent store. The cold linoleum floor became a witness to a tragedy that would stain the small town's history. The piercing scream that followed, a desperate cry for help and mercy, resonated through the store. The metallic scent of blood mingled with the sterile aroma of cleaning products, creating an atmosphere of horror that clung to Walmart's deserted aisles. As the night wore on, the store returned to its unsettling silence. The surveillance cameras, the only witnesses to the gruesome act, recorded the aftermath: a shattered father and the malevolence of a man who had succumbed to the darkness within. news of the Walmart horror spread like wildfire, and the town found itself grappling with the harsh reality that even the most ordinary places could become arenas for unspeakable horrors. Walmart, once a symbol of convenience, now stood as a somber reminder of the fragility of life and the unexpected darkness that could emerge in the most commonplace of settings. The night shift at Walmart, haunted by the ghostly echoes of that fateful night, became a chilling chapter in the town's collective memory. Thank you for watching until here. Most of you guys who watch me aren't actually subscribed, so if you like the content, please subscribe and hit the bell. See you in the next story.